All right, let's talk about something we all do every single day without a second thought: searching online. But what if that simple, routine action, an employee just looking for a piece of software, is the very thing that opens up the biggest backdoor into your network? Today, we're going to unpack a really sophisticated campaign that does exactly that. Seriously, you have to ask yourself this. You've probably invested a ton in firewalls, endpoint protection, all the good stuff. But what if the real threat sidesteps all of that by weaponizing something much, much harder to control? An employee's simple trust in their search results. I mean, just picture how normal this is. You've got a new employee starting or someone setting up a new laptop to work from home. They need the company VPN client. So what do? They go to Bing or Google and type it in. And right there, that seemingly innocent, everyday act, that's the exact moment the trap is sprung. And look, this isn't some theoretical what-if scenario. This is straight from Microsoft's threat intelligence team. They are actively tracking this. They're seeing how these attackers expertly gain the search engine rankings to serve up malware that looks just like the real deal. It's a classic bait and switch, just executed with a terrifying level of digital precision. So let's break down how this poisoned path actually works. It's this clever combination of social engineering and technical wizardry that preys on something we all have: trust. The core of this whole attack is a technique called SEO poisoning. SEO, search engine optimization. That's what marketers use to get their websites to the top of the search results. Well, these attackers are using the exact same tactics to push their malicious websites to the #1 spot. They aren't just hoping you stumble onto their trap. They are actively making sure it's the first thing your employees see. And what's so wild is how each step in this chain exploits a different kind of trust. First, you trust the search engine. Then you trust the convincing, professional-looking website it sends you to. And here's the kicker. They often host their malicious files on trusted platforms like GitHub. So even the download itself seems legitimate. It's just a cascade of deception, from that first search all the way to the final fatal installation. So, who's actually pulling the strings here? Well, this isn't random. Microsoft has attributed this whole campaign to a specific group. Let's put a name to our adversary. Meet Storm 2561, and trust me, these are not amateurs. They're a financially motivated cybercrime group that has been honing this exact craft since at least May of 2023. Their entire business model is built around impersonating trusted brands. They've gone after users of SonicWall and Hanwha Vision, and now they're targeting people looking for Ivanti Pulse Secure. This is a calculated, repeatable, and profitable operation for them. So once that malicious file is on a company computer, the real damage starts. That initial download, that was just the delivery service for the actual heist. And this just perfectly illustrates the deception. The user sees what they expect to see: a familiar login window for their VPN. Nothing seems out of place. But in the background, a nasty piece of malware, an info stealer called Hyrax, is silently recording every single keystroke. The user types in their credentials, gets a fake error message, and might even be redirected to the real VPN site to avoid any suspicion. But it's already too late. Their credentials have been captured and sent straight to the attacker. And this malware doesn't just steal and run. Oh no, it's designed to stick around. It uses a little feature in the Windows registry called the Run Once key. All that means is that even if the computer gets restarted, the malware launches itself automatically. It digs itself in for the long haul. Here's another layer of sophistication for you. The malicious files are digitally signed with what looks like a legitimate certificate. This is designed to fool security software and give even a savvy user a false sense of security. It just goes to show you the level of detail they put into making this whole thing look completely benign. Okay, we've seen the threat. It's clever, it's deceptive, and it's clearly effective. But, and this is a very important but, it is not unstoppable. So let's pivot and talk about how to actually build a strong defense. And, the good news here is that you don't need some complex secret weapon to fight this. The defenses rely on solid security fundamentals and, maybe most importantly, on empowering your people with the right knowledge. So what's the game plan? First and foremost, multi-factor authentication. MFA is your single most effective defense. Even if they steal the password, MFA can stop them cold. After that, it comes down to policy and training. You need a bright line rule. We download software only from official, bookmarked vendor sites, no exceptions, no Googling for it. And you have to educate your team on the specific threat so they know what to look for. Now, the industry is fighting back. Microsoft has already worked to take down the attacker's GitHub pages and has gotten that fraudulent security certificate revoked. This is a huge step, but you gotta remember, groups like Storm 2561 will just adapt. They'll try again. The fight is definitely ongoing. So if you take one thing away from all of this, let it be this. The battlefield has shifted. Attackers aren't just trying to break down your digital walls anymore. They are manipulating the trusted tools and the big brands that your team uses every single day. They are weaponizing convenience and trust itself. And that really leaves us with one final sobering thought. This isn't an attack that looks like a scary virus warning or a sketchy email. It looks like a helpful search result. It looks like the exact software your employee needs to do their job. So, while your firewalls might be strong, is your team prepared for a threat that doesn't knock the door down, but instead gets invited right on in?